Hello, everybody. I interviewed Dr. Johnny Rock 4 years ago. Dr. Johnny the Rock is a business professional who offers unique setup of perspective that sets him apart from his industry and academy peers. Johnny launched Johnny Rock, the music group INC, in 2012, based on his 20 years background in the music industry. Dr. Johnny Rock Music has a location in the United States and a satellite office in Hong Kong, Shanghai, China. He offers insights and guidelines that today's musician lead in order to generate the both commercial and critical success. Most university professors teach from the textbook, whereas I make the textbook come to life by incorporating my real world the experience into the classroom. That's what Dr. Johnny said. So, hello.
好久不见。
Yeah, you speak your Chinese Mandarin a little bit, the progress, huh?
我说的不好，我是一点儿不懂啊。
Thank you. It's good. So, you know why? 4 years ago, I interviewed here. And so I want to know, when I interviewed 4 years ago, you were very involved in education and several business you were managing, as well as a teaching as a college professor. Could you please give us an update as to what you're doing right now?
Well, over the last few years, we put together a university and an online university, and it's kind of ironic because prior to COVID, students didn't want to go online, right? They always wanted brick and mortar, face to face, and then COVID pretty much got people adjusted to going to online universities. And now that I'm still teaching at the university, the students don't want to come to class anymore. They want to stay at home in their pajamas and sit on the couch, eat cereal, and do university studies. So I just thought it was the right time to open up an online university and basically educate online.
Okay, so tell me about your college preparation courses, certificates, and UCIL. What's the full name of the UCIL?
It's University Curriculum for Independent Learning, and it's about self-learning and critical thinking skills. So the college preparation courses, they're designed for students, we call them the bridge students. So students between, let's say, 17 and 20 years old that are, finishing up high school or preparing for college. And what we do is we give them university curriculum, so the same classes you would take at USC, UCLA, Harvard, Stanford. We offer the exact same courses, same curriculum, same books, same preparation, so that in advance they can take these courses and have an idea of what the methodologies are and what the curriculum's like.
Okay, Dr. Rock, before I will ask your next question, I will ask you my private questions. Okay. I know we're friends, we know each other for years, but I know you got two doctor program, the PhD. And one is education, right? Mm-hmm. Another one is theology. And I heard about, people told me you are doing the third PhD, DBA. What's that? Could you a little bit?
The DBA is the Doctorate in Business Administration. So I was in the DBA program, and the university needed somebody to teach humanities and religion. So I jumped from DBA to theology to teach world religion, and I got that doctorate degree. And now I'm back to the DBA, which is the Doctorate in Business Administration.
Okay, cool. So, when I was young, I wanted to challenge myself to want to get a PhD from Harvard University, sure. But I failed. I said, no, it's too difficult, for me to do. So, could you tell me where does your passion come from? You're challenging yourself, get the PhD program.
I guess I'm just a junkie for education. So I actually didn't get my first degree until 2010. And
That's a PhD.
No, first education.
Oh, first education.
First degree, which
Until
well,
2010.
yeah.
Wow.
And basically during the recession in 2008 in America, when things were kind of on hold, me and my wife, our kids were young at the time, and we figured that I should go get some kind of education, because when the kids grow up, they'd say, oh, Daddy never went to school, why should we? So I started, and I went to community college, and I ended up getting an associate's in liberal arts, and then I got one in humanities, and then I got one in business, and then I got a bachelor's, and in 2012 got my MBA, my master's in business administration, with an emphasis on international business. And since the recession hit America so hard, I wanted to be recession proof. And what that means is I wanted to get a doctorate, because I figured that if I had a doctorate, I could go teach anywhere in the world. And if there's a bad economy in America, Japan might be strong. And having that education, and again, education is something nobody can ever take from you. So I encourage education, because it's so valuable. But my idea, or what me and my wife figured, is that we didn't want to go through or put our family through, a recession again. So part of being inspired to get a doctorate was to have that, where I could go into any economy and teach and have a job. So
I get it.
That's
I
where
get
I got it.
So 4 years ago, I interview here where topic is from rock to a doctor. So I know you're so busy. Say you're tell us you are father, you are husband, you are family. You have to do your business. I know you're a good businessman. So how you jungle your time every day?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, you have to do this time. Your PhD,
When
yeah.
you work international, it's in a sense you're working in so many different time zones. 6 o'clock in the morning here is 9 o'clock in China, or whatever. So you're always busy doing things. So you end up managing your time, just figuring out where to put your time and efforts, and into what projects and things like that. So it's just a time management thing, I think.
Okay. As an entrepreneur, do you feel the education and building business relationship, the real life experience, is the more important success in today's business world?
Well, entrepreneurship is more prevalent today than any other time in world history. And the reason I say that is, with innovation and technology, anyone can be an entrepreneur. So, basically we have, you could be an influencer on Instagram and have 10 million followers. So learning entrepreneurship and critical thinking skills and how to, turn something around or make something of yourself is just very prevalent in today's society, because anyone can be an entrepreneur. And so it's a matter of going out and identifying problems and opportunities, right? Because they're really synonymous. A problem is an opportunity. So when you find something that you see that annoys you, or something that you could fix, and you capitalize on that, and you work through the problem and turn it into a business. And that's why entrepreneurship is so critical and crucial in today's modern world.
Okay, good. I got your concept, because I have to increase myself the entrepreneur of the skills. Okay, you have the very diverse educational background, including degree in theology and business and humanity. So what inspired you to study theology and how do you incorporate it into your life today?
Well, the theology, I specialize in what they call eschatology. So that's my subject, or when I got my PhD, my dissertation was on eschatology, which is the study of end times. And what I do is I basically take history and the Bible and put it together and basically present evidence, facts and evidence from the Bible, and present a theme of eschatology, which is the study of end times, which goes through the book of Daniel all the way through the book of Revelation. So that was the theology part of it, and I do teach world religion. So we're teaching Buddhism and Confucianism and Hinduism, all the isms, and Judaism and Islam, and then Christianity. So the theology covers the topics of humanity. So when I teach theology classes or humanity classes, world religions at the university, we're covering all the religions. And it ends with Christianity, the series. So it starts with the Eastern religions and works through to Judaism, Islam, and then Christianity. But my thesis or dissertation was on eschatology. In regards to business, I mean, I'm a businessman, and my MBA was international business, and I've been doing international business since 1992. So I like to basically teach from experience, and as at the beginning you read my quote where I said, most professors teach from a textbook.
Yeah.
And what sets me apart is I make the textbook come to life because I've lived it. I've spent 12 years setting up, stadium shows in Hong Kong and Macau and, Korea and India and doing all these things. So when I teach from a textbook, we read the text, and usually it's like the McGraw-Hill, the same textbook you're going to get at, Harvard or UCLA. But as we go through what the textbook says, then I would bring in my own, reality of like, okay, well, this is, how I did it, or this is what happened, when I did stadium shows in India. These are the challenges I face. So my niche is that I make the textbook come to life because, like I said, most professors, they've taught for 20 years in a university from a book, but they've never went out and lived it, right? And so with me, I live it, and I still do it today. So it's a lot different because I'm giving the students reality.
That's so your career make your philosophy, educational concept make you apart from your industry to another, the professor, also teachers. So I got it, but I want to know when you got what's your first PhD the program, the subject? Is it education?
Education is EDS.
EDS.
And what the EDS is, it's post-grad. So after you get a master's or an MBA, and I have a MBA, which Master's in Business Administration, and then my second master's was a master's in theology, which only took 12 months. It's 36 units, so it's kind of interesting because students, you take 120 units to get your bachelor's, and what most students don't realize is a master's degree is only 36 to 45 more units. It's not much more. A doctorate's a lot. Doctorate's 60 units and 2 years on a dissertation. But my second master's was in theology. And then after you get a master's, the next level is what they call an EDS, an educational specialist. So it's a postmaster's if you're going for education. So the EDS, what I got my EDS in, and I went to Georgia for that one, University of Western Georgia. But it's educational specialist teaching media how to put online classes together, how to teach online, because I figured that online education is the next big thing. So to get a doctorate in education, I wanted to learn how to prepare classes online, how to teach students online. And so that's what the EDS was before I got the PhD and the other doctorate.
But your PhD, you go to college to take their courses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are not online. I know online is right now really convenient. I used to when I was like 2020. I was online, try to want to get a PhD, but my problem is that I'm not finished. I'm not go on. I'm not insist on. So, Dr. Rock, if you could go back in time during your career, what would you have done differently?
It's tough to say because I spent 12 years traveling Asia and Europe. And I guess financially, it depends on what I wanted to do in life. So, and I did what I wanted to do, but I could have did the corporate route and, went with a corporation and went up the food chain and, probably the CEO of a big corporation by now. But instead I took what my passion was, which was entrepreneurship. And I traveled, I spent 12 years, I've flown 1.6 million miles on Delta Airlines. So I got to travel the world for 12 years. So to answer your question, I don't think I'd change anything. If I didn't go my route, I would probably be, I'd probably be the CEO of a big corporation if I would have went the corporate route. But I followed my dreams and passions. So I don't think I would have changed anything.
Good.
I mean,
So if I give him another knife, I go back, I still want to be TV host, okay? Because I love media. Okay.